pap smears using liquid-based cytology, which will assist in eliminating cervical cancer.
This new method of conducting pap smears is more comfortable and more convenient. So ladies, contact your nearest wellness center to get to know about our pap smear clinics.
Turnaround time for HPV testing is 1 week. Any abnormal or positive test, there'll be a following week for cytology testing. We're also going to test for HPV strains 16 and 18, which are the most aggressive, which cause cervical cancer. We can also test for other STIs, such as herpes simplex type 1 and type 2, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and others.
Patients with an abnormal HPV and an abnormal cytology shall be referred to the colposcopy clinic. At that clinic, we shall assure that you get the proper treatment and guidance.
So come in and access this new service. Your health is our priority.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Wednesday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the second day of the month of October, the 10th month of the year, 2024. This is once again The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, along with Alton Jaquan Joseph, our technical operator. We hope you're having a good day so far. It's looking like a good day. It's feeling like a good day. I've had a little blast of the heat this morning, though. Today is one of those that is a real scorcher, isn't it? Oh yes, I went somewhere to do something, and they offered me to come into the office, which is air conditioned, and I turned it down. I said, I'm okay in the outer, on the veranda or the porch or whatever you call it of the office that they have. Figure I'll take in some fresh air. You're in an air-conditioned studio, in an air-conditioned vehicle, so take it. And later on, I wished I had taken up the offer, because I can tell you, the transaction I was undertaking took a lot longer than I thought it was, and it was absolute torture. When I got back into the vehicle that thankfully I had left idling, with the air condition on, it felt like a lifesaver. We'll have to get used to the fact that our lives are going to be more expensive than what we expected, than maybe what we've bargained for, than maybe what we have incurred in terms of expenses, etc. The fuel bills and so on, the run time of our vehicle is going to be a lot more than it is, because air condition will have to play an indispensable part of the life of a lot of us if we are going to feel comfortable. I know we're brought up in it. I know we should be, as the older people would say, I'm telling you, the way this heat is climbing, even if you are a skeptic about all this thing pertaining to global warming, it makes you want to believe it. The heat wave condition. I didn't just send Lucia, I was just reading, as I always catch up, on the news in Antigua and so on, because I lived there for several years. And you know, the frequency with which heat warnings are being issued by the Met Office, you know, in that place to warn people, you know, to be careful of the kind of clothing that you wear, of how much time you spend outdoors, of making sure that you get properly hydrated, of covering your head and that kind of thing. I'm telling you, we're going to have to look at ourselves and decide, look, the culture, the way we normally behave, we're going to have to make wearing a hat, you know, wearing hats, you know, a normal, ordinary, indispensable part of our lifestyle and so on, because when this thing hits your head, especially heads like mine that don't have too much natural covering on it, you know, a baseball cap, and you have to watch the colors and so on. I mean, don't go wearing black in this in this kind of heat and so on, a lighter color and so on. We're gonna have to watch ourselves with those things, you know, because I'm telling you. And authorities, prepare that you have to build much more. And not just much more, but much more quality, durable, sturdy public washroom facilities. Because if people got to drink a whole lot more water, they are going to want to, you know, relieve their bladder a lot more. So people will need to pee a lot more. And, you know, given what we are trying to put in the country in terms of sanitation, we are going to have to make bigger investments in public bathroom facilities. And we probably will have to look beyond, you know, the very same kind of toilets that we have in the home is the very same kind that we want to have in public places, in commercial places and so on. They probably do not have the ruggedness to withstand the kind of multi-user, constant different people coming, flushing, using and so on. Perhaps this ordinary porcelain that we have and so on, it just does not have the toughness. It does not have the sturdiness, the ruggedness to withstand that. You know, a lot of things now, I believe we should not wait for them to come upon us. We need to think ahead with those things and to begin to prepare for them. And I'm satisfied that now we have authorities that have the consciousness, that have the understanding, that have the forward thinking and the vision to look at those things. And I'm talking about especially in the areas where we have a lot of concrete, you know, asphalt roads, concrete sidewalks and so on. So there really isn't as much space for the earth to absorb and drink things and for them to decompose and deactivate, etc., etc. We have to think of areas like Castries, Vieux-Fort, Soufrière, Grosillé, you know, and so on, for us to have a lot more bathroom facilities and so on, because this is very important that people stay hydrated. Maybe, you know, a friend of mine was telling me about severe headache that she's experiencing, and people, I had the experience of the headache thing too. And I'm wondering, but how come, you know, you're sleeping and you're feeling a headache in your sleep? So sleep is supposed to take away, you know, the tension and whatever it is. Sometimes you wake up and you wonder, but what is causing? Until it took me a long time, but I realized it is dehydration. Dehydration that you experience even in your sleep because you have fun. The fan itself is dehydrating you. And maybe you don't want to drink too much water in the night because the waking up and so on, you do not want that, etc., etc. And then at one point I said, it don't matter what it does to me, I'm making sure I get enough water. And guess what? Of their own accord, by making sure I'm well hydrated and so on, night and day, the headache problem practically left me, you know. I didn't have a problem with that. So watch out for those things. Just want to sound a little note of caution. You, my people, we are family. And like I say, we have to be knife and flint, you know, watching out for each other and sharing with each other and so on. And sometimes the best gift you can give to somebody is a little tip, a little tidbit of knowledge and so on, based upon your own experience, on your own observations, and a word to the wise is sufficient. Another thing which I just wanted to maybe share with you. In my life, I can't remember ever having to battle with constipation or whatever it is. If ever I'm not as regular and so on, I easily know maybe I'm eating things, you know, which I try to avoid, but something with flour and you don't counterbalance it with fiber, you know. I've become a lot more conscious that if you eat some fruits or some dumpling and so on, try to make sure that you have some spinach. There's that callaloo leaf in the country. What's the name of it? Sijin is what I grew up knowing we call it. but you make callaloo with it. So you make some dumpling and so on, which is one of the delicacies growing up. The dombwe. As much as I say this is bad for me and the type of diet I should be following, from time to time, somebody gives me something, a bouillon that has some dombwe in it, I'm not going to throw it away. But you try to make sure that you have how they call it, fiber, roughage in the diet and so on, so that the effect the dog way, again, you grow up with the older people telling you about we say and the we say way means it will have a constipative kind of effect on you. But from my own life, I've hardly ever had any serious struggles with constipation or anything like that. It's not been one of the things that has been a worry of my life. Until recently, I just find as if I'm not as regular. I'm not feeling distressed. I'm not feeling bloated. I'm not feeling anything. But I'm just feeling like this isn't the way now. I'm a very, observant kind of person. I try to listen to my body a lot, especially as you grow older. Sometimes that's what you need to do, to just watch certain things. And in my readings, as a journalist reporter over the years, that's one benefit that I can say I've gotten from being in the profession. It behooves you, it impels you, it requires you, it drives you to read a lot and to try to retain what you have read and so on. So a lot of the times I'm not brighter than anybody else. It's just that over the years I've immersed myself a lot. When I'm coming on a program, I never believe that I'm sufficiently prepared. So I'm always reading, always listening. What you think is intelligence is not that. It's just that this guy, for the most part, is always prepared. He never comes on air and is not prepared. A guest cancels on me. There are reserves of knowledge and things that you have over the years. What's the word for that? How they call it? I think they call it eclectic. It's the word. Knowledge drawn from many different sources, and being able to bring it together. So I'm not the bright guy that people think I am, and so on. Just that I value the privilege of being on air so much that I try always to be prepared. And sometimes being prepared means there isn't time to go and rush and to read up on a whole set of encyclopedias, but you draw upon the knowledge that you should have gained over years and over decades and so on. So in any case, I kind of wonder why of late. And one of the things I had read is that if ever you're struggling with a cancer, bowel cancer, this and that, I think cancer of the digestive tract, one of the first alarm signs that you should work out is what they call a sudden change in bowel habits. So I never really went in depth about what represents sudden change in bowel habits, but I suppose suddenly you begin going regular, the diarrhea kind of thing, or suddenly you're constipated and this. So when I realized I'm not as regular at the times that I would go, I began to wonder, have things caught up with me because of my age and so on. And then I kind of pondered, what has changed? What has happened and so on. Try to make the little adjustments in the diet. Sometimes it's work. I try to avoid milk mostly. Take some milk and you find, okay, for one time it works, another time. Until again, being observant. For the first time now, chewable vitamins, multivitamins, vitamin C and so on have become the buzz nowadays, there was a time you had to drink your vitamin. It would be if it crushed in your mouth, the bad taste and so on, whatever it is. Now we have, how they call this thing that dissolves and that makes fizzy tablet. There's a name for it, that you do. There's all different kinds of things, especially vitamin C and so on. I forgot the name of it. Very tasty and so on. There's sugar-free preparations, chewable. I've tried all of them, but I had never tried gummies before. Multivitamin gummies and this kind of thing, never. So I decided this time, let me go and try the gummies. The thing is that I don't know again if it's the heat. The gummies, they were not staying as individual things. They clumped together and so on. The directions which I always read tell you, in my particular case, it says a maximum of 3 per day. But because the things clump together and I figure holding that and prying them apart again, I think it's the heat and so on, I also didn't like the fact that they coated with sugar, a lot of it and so on. So, I was kind of happy that they were not individual, because it's much more difficult for so much sugar to adhere to a clump of them. But I have to admit to you, I did not stick to the directions of making sure that I take no more than 3 a day. You know, I try to take a clump and figure, big guy like me, you know, what harm can that do to me? In any case, it's a fashion, it's a trend, it's a, you know, of our times and so on, for people to hyperdose on vitamin C. It's supposed to help your immune system and guard you against flu, you know, my little recent flu thing. So I figure out, and plus the thing tasting nice. Like it or not, the thing tasting nice, you know. What's the name of that little tube, Gerkwan? The little tube of the vitamin C things, man, that you put in the water and so on. Just the same way with that and so on. So sometimes, even if they tell you take 1 a day, you know, you take more a day and so on. I have a little secret to tell you about myself. Make sure you don't tell anybody. You know, up to now, from time to time, I eat a little toothpaste. Not a lot, you know. But, you know, brush my teeth, watch at it, make a little thing on my, I know, and just to taste the toothpaste and so on. I still do that, you know, my Listerine, especially when you get a nice preparation that's not the yellow one that tastes awful, you know, the other ones that have purple, whatever, mint, whatever, you know. I don't just gargle and think, you know, sometimes I take a little, you know, minute amount, you know. I excuse myself by saying, you know, if I have any infection in my throat, it's probably gonna, you know, kill the germs down there and so on. Right? Yeah. So, you know, the gummies thing and so on. I ended up eating more than the 3 gummies that they said. And sometimes when the little clump, the way the thing sticks, as I said, in the heat, you know, just like I told you yesterday, it seemed like all my remotes are ruining these days and so on. So I ended up eating more of the gummies, and it's only after much reflection I realized is overdosing on the gummies, which they said don't take more than 3 in a day, that was causing, you know, because the thing has no fiber per se. It's, as its name suggests, it's gummy, you know, it's sticky, it's a paste, it's like dough, it's like flour, it's like dumpling. So the thing is probably causing, you know, a slowdown in the bowel and so on and all of that. Anyway, the gum is finished, and I went back to a different preparation of vitamin C that I was using. And then all of a sudden, I have no problem, no concerns whatever, you know, with regularity. 2 lessons I want to share with you. Stick with what they tell you on the bottle. And the thing is mine, I don't know why I felt it's too much trouble to pry them loose and, you know, too much play in my hand in it. You know, I should be able to take one of the thing, you know, distribute it 3 times a day. But top twaka or bulls having it just pass like magic, you know. Stick to the instructions. I should not have to be telling myself that. I should not have to be admitting to you that I was that reckless. Thankfully, it was vitamin C, which the body excretes and expels. But it was more than just vitamin C. It was vitamin C held together in a formula, in a solution that could have effects upon, you know, the alimentary canal, as we call the passage, starting in the mouth and ending, you know, in the rectum, anus, whatever, and so on. You know, there is that thing about the vigorousness with which things move through your motility, I think is the name, and so on, that it can negatively affect the motility, which is the movement of material through the alimentary canal. That's one of them. And I'm telling you, I'm not eating gummies again. I'm back to my previous, whether it's chewable or drinkable, whatever vitamin C, gummies papumako. But respecting the dosage that they told you is something that you need to look out for. And also pay attention to yourself, because, you know, you never know in that situation what trouble you could be getting yourself into, you know. You know, always try to stick to the directions, try to stick to the specifications, try to stick to what they say, and don't think anything is harmless. Because while vitamin C, we probably, even without taking supplements, if we are people who like fruits and who go about and with that kind of person who will go and eat the wild berries and cherries and sea grapes and guavas and so on that we have, and grapefruits, you're probably getting a whole lot more vitamin C than you need for your minimum or recommended daily dose. But it's one of those things the body expels and so on. But now, you know, everybody into their little supplementation and so on here, and we have to watch it very carefully. Stick with the dosage that is prescribed for you. Otherwise, you know, you're going to find yourself in some trouble and so on. So, like I say, feel regular once again. And a lot of us maybe don't pay attention to those things, but we should pay attention to those kinds of things. Okay. Let me see. Olive orange. Yeah, olive orange. That's it. How we pronounce it? Yeah. Yeah, olive orange. Yeah, something like that and so on, Yeah, I tried this thing and the fizziness, and like I said, I take the sugar-free preparation just to conserve on a few calories. I'm already, over what my intake probably should be, as you can tell from my size and so on. But even then, the artificial sweeteners, Splenda, sucralose, whatever they call it, the things have a nice taste together, the fizziness. So they might tell you take one a day, but we got put two akatsa because, that's a substitute for a drink. And this kind of thing. Embarrassing as it is, I have to admit to you, I still eat a little toothpaste, I don't take a lot like when you were young, you go and steal the toothpaste and this kind of thing. But you put a little bit on your hand and so on after you brush your teeth and so on. Because the brushing teeth, you're not tasting it, but you want to taste the thing, etc., etc. So, I guess that little side of naughty me and so on, it's a good excuse. That the gum is clumped up together, so I just food it by my Alexa, but maybe it was a good thing. The thing have a good taste in it. It go happen to me again. I'll be myself with that one. Anyway, folks, jokes aside, some news came out yesterday about strike by U.S. port workers, and there was great apprehension, concern, even fear expressed by people about how this can affect us in St. Lucia. And I was relieved really to hear on MBCs, and big up to you, Cecil, and your crew. Like I say, you all a few, but you all do quite a lot. And we have a lot of admiration and respect for your dedication. Your crew and your team, of course, includes Jaquan, who has become the regular presenter of NBC Prime on evenings at 7:30. And, to hear a news report, I think it was your first or your second one today, where you spoke to a local shipper or shipping agent who said things to me that allayed those kinds of fears, and I'm very happy to hear about it, where I think he said it's unlikely to have the kind of effect that we fear it would. Now, I thought I had shared, was it a CBS or BBC summary of it? Let me see, did I? Which would have said exactly what is going on, but sometimes, so many things crossing my mind at the same time that I don't do the share or maybe don't press the button. But maybe, Jaquan, if we have that report. Was that? It's still loading? We're gonna have it soon. But okay, let me just read it online from Reuters, and that came out a few hours ago. It said, U.S. dock workers strike, halting half the nation's ocean shipping. U.S. East Coast and Gulf Coast dock workers began their first large-scale strike in nearly 50 years on Tuesday, halting the flow of about half the country's ocean shipping after negotiations for a new labor contract broke down over wages. The strike blocks everything from food to automobile shipments across dozens of ports from Maine to Texas, a disruption analysts warned will cost the economy billions of dollars a day. See, that's a lot of money, not just the billions, but a day. Threaten jobs and potentially stoke inflation. President Joe Biden and his administration have repeatedly said they will not use federal powers to end the strike, and on Tuesday pressured the dock worker employers to bump up their contract offer to land a deal. The sides are talking to each other, but there was no active bargaining late on Tuesday, and the strike appeared to be headed into a second day, a person briefed on the talk said. The International Longshoremen's Association Union, which represents 45,000 port workers, had been negotiating with the United States Maritime Alliance, USMX, employer group for a new 6-year contract ahead of a midnight Monday deadline. The ILS said in a statement it shut down all ports from Maine to Texas at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time or 14:01 GMT After rejecting USMX's final proposal, adding the offer fell far short of the demands of its members to ratify a new contract. The ILA's leader, Harold Daggett, has said employers such as container ship operators, how you ever pronounce that? Maersk? I think that's some Danish company or something. I've never really checked out how it's pronounced, I know Ned Lloyd's and all of that, but the Maersk, so I never learned how to pronounce that one, never really searched out. Anyway, I think Maersk. And its APM terminals North America have not offered appropriate pay increases or agreed to demands to stop port automation projects that threaten jobs. We are prepared to fight as long as necessary to stay out on strike for whatever period of time it takes to get the wages and protections against automation our ILA members deserve, Daggett said on Tuesday. USMX said in a statement, quote, our current offer of a nearly 50% wage increase exceeds every other recent union settlement while addressing inflation and recognizing the ILA's hard work to keep the global economy running. Daggett said the union is pushing for more, including a $5 per hour raise for each year of the new 6-year agreement. The White House weighed in, saying it was time for USMX to negotiate a fair contract for workers. Folks, imagine that, These people are having 6-year collective agreement in St. Lucia. Within 3 years, we can come back to the negotiation. Most of the things I have 3-year collective agreements for the bargaining and all of that. And these people are turning down 50% wage increase offers, that's not enough. And after they get it, they want every year of the 6 years for them to get an increase of $5 per hour on what they're getting, There has to be a country for a lot of wealth, to entertain those kind of things, to even think about it. All right. Shippers have made record profits since the pandemic and in some cases have seen profits grow in excess of 800%, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said, referring to a boom in shipping demand since the COVID-19 pandemic. It's only fair that workers who put themselves at risk during the pandemic to keep ports open see a meaningful increase in their wages as well. Acting Secretary of Labor Julie Su said the employer group has refused to put an offer on the table that reflects workers' sacrifice and contributions to their employer's profits. I'm not putting too much credence on this thing by the White House and Labor Secretary and President and all. It's an election year. They naturally want to pander to the workers and to appease to them and to show we're on your side and we're in your corner and hoping that this will translate to votes. I wish them well with that and so on. Politicians do that all the time. It doesn't mean they're really in your corner. It's just the time on the election cycle that these things come up that they are playing for your support and for your votes. All right? Good. The dispute is wedging Labour-friendly Biden into a virtual no-win position with Vice President Kamala Harris in a razor-thin race for the White House with Republican former President Donald Trump in the November 5th election. Trump on Tuesday blamed the strike on inflation, which he said was caused by the Biden-Harris administration. What else would he say? Everybody understands the dock workers because they were decimated by this inflation, just like everybody else in our country and beyond, Fox News Digital quoted Trump as saying in an interview. It's a kind of a lengthy story. So, I'm going to leave it at that. And before the break, I really want to play that news clip from our lunchtime news today, where a local shipper was weighing in on the impact that the U.S. dock workers strike could have. What a lot of people fear it could really cause costs to increase, make things unaffordable, shipping costs will go up and all of that. Let's say what he said in the report.
Shipping agency has reassured Caribbean countries, including St. Lucia, that the ongoing strike at major U.S. The Facebook notice provided no further details. A U.S.-based shipping agency has reassured Caribbean countries, including St. Lucia, that the ongoing strike at major U.S. ports will not significantly disrupt shipping operations. The agency addressed concerns following the strike organized by the International Longshoremen's Association, which began on October 1st. Thousands of workers hit the picket lines on Tuesday, October 1st, as part of a strike organized by union workers at key shipping ports along the U.S. East Coast. The strike, led by the International Longshoremen's Association, ILA, in New Jersey, was triggered after talks demanding fair wages stalled. The deadline for negotiations expired at midnight on Monday, October 1st. Despite the large-scale industrial action, Global Express, a shipping company based in Florida, has assured that Caribbean countries, including St. Lucia, will not be significantly affected by the strike.
This strike is not going to affect us. We forward courier 3, etc. with our shipments because the company that we use to ship our stuff own their Stevie Doran company and different things like that. So you're not going to get affected. So everybody in St. Lucia, Dominica, Antigua, wherever it is that we ship to, you're not going to get affected. But we're on the move right now. Your boy Milo and Kel and Javonte, we have vehicles filled up with stuff that we're going to pack right now for some people in Antigua right now, Dominica, wherever it is, and we're going to continue to be working for you. So the strike is not going to affect us. Good news. Good news. Everybody can enjoy their independence and Creole season.
According to News Nation, the ILA has not disclosed the exact locations of the picket lines, but highlighted that wage suppression has been a long-standing issue for workers. Reports indicate that talks broke down as early as June 2024. The strike could potentially impact several major U.S. ports.
The Port of New York and New Jersey, which is where I'm at right now, as well as the ports of Boston, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Norfolk, Wilmington, Charleston, Savannah, Jacksonville, Miami, Tampa, Mobile, New Orleans, and Houston. That's a massive number of huge cities. And every single good you can think of flows in and out of these ports.
News Nation also reported that the union expressed concerns about future job automation at ports. However, full automation is currently off the table due to a ban in the U.S. Cecil Actel, NBC Prime. The Labor Department.
So, folks, if the local shipping representative who was the subject of this interview is correct, and I would hope that he is, we probably don't have much to worry about. But if costs go up, shipping, whatever it is, that the knock-on effect is going to get passed on to the end user, to the customer, to the business, to the ordinary St. Lucian, and that does not augur well for us at this time. We've gotten blues already in the last few years because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Just when the world was hopeful that it would be able to breathe again, if I can borrow from, Tony Braxton, Vladimir Putin comes up and decides that he has a right to decide, the national self-determination of a neighboring country and to invade them so that they, will not be able to join NATO and this kind of thing and the EU and all that sort of thing. It's causing another set of problems in the world with all shipping and supply chain and so on. And I can tell you what's happening there between Israel and Palestine and Hamas and Lebanon and Hezbollah and Yemen and the Houthis and on and on it goes, and Iran being involved in it. It ain't a pretty thing. So the last thing we want is for U.S. industrial action to be affecting us. Let's take a break. When we come back, I want to have a word about the minimum wage once again and what the president of the National Association of Early Childhood Practitioners has said in a very recent interview about it. And I kind of am wondering, why now? Why now, after all the deliberations and discussions and consultations? Why now at the point of implementation? You'll give me your thoughts on it a little later. This is The Real Issues.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
the Ministry of Health has launched yet another service under universal health coverage. This new service includes conducting pap smears using liquid-based cytology, which will assist in eliminating cervical cancer.
This new method of conducting pap smears is more comfortable and more convenient. So ladies, contact your nearest wellness center to get to know about our pap smear clinics.
Turnaround time for HPV testing is 1 week. Any abnormal or positive test, there will be a following week for cytology testing. We also going to test for HPV strains 16 and 18, which are the most aggressive, which cause cervical cancer. We can also test for other STIs such as herpes simplex type 1 and type 2, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and others.
Patients with an abnormal HPV and an abnormal cytology shall be referred to the colposcopy clinic. At that clinic, we shall assure that you get the proper treatment and guidance.
So come in and access this new service. Your health is our priority.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with the real issues on this Wednesday. It is the second day of the month of October 2024, and let's not forget this is Creole Heritage Month, this is Fête la Marguerite Month, this is Journée Creole Month. Well, that's part of the Creole Heritage experience, and so many other things. And let's not forget that coming Monday next week, the 7th, is going to be Thanksgiving holiday, public holiday, so we'll have no program then. And like I said, I grew up knowing it being called October Monday. And so prepare yourself to have another long holiday weekend. Plan, prepare what you're going to do for it. It's always better when you plan and when you prepare, etc. But anyway, enough of that. I listened to a news clip of, I think the lady's name is Scholastic Elcock. expressing concern about some of the very questions that I was asking or trying to ask Labour Minister Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot when she was a guest in studio yesterday on this program, about the ways, the fancy footwork that employers may try to employ, they are after all employers, to deal with costs associated with implementing the minimum wage that maybe they had not thought of, that maybe they realized paying somebody per month. Because once you're paying somebody monthly, you have to pay them their month's wages, because a month is a month is a month. It's very difficult when you're paying somebody monthly to come and to try to tabulate and say, okay, yes, I'm paying you a month, but you were short an hour or whatever, I'm going to dock it from your pay. It may be legal, but it's a long process and so on, which I don't think. That whether employers will try to move to the hourly rates with people, because then you can more accurately, or you can be more exacting in terms of what you pay somebody for, as opposed to the blanket month and fortnight and so on, where you will pay people maybe for hours you don't really need them, for hours when they don't really perform. And there are different things that they're going to try to do, because yes, if you have 1 or 2 employees, it probably, but if you are somebody who employs 10, 20, 50 employees, whatever, you have to make sure that the business generates. A restaurant where you have people and you can't send them home. You need people to go and wipe the tables when, customers are done, so others can come and sit, wipe up the tables and chairs, to pass a mop on the floor, to be engaged in the cooking up to the high standards of hygiene and nutrition and aesthetics that your business depends on, the customer service people, etc. And then when you have them, if they're monthly paid, I doubt people that many of them are not paid weekly or fortnightly, whatever. And you have to find 1,100 and, etc. and so on. If they find that it is struggling for them, how will they react? Will they start letting people go? Will they start reducing the hours of work and so on? Put them on 3 days a week instead of the full 5 days or 6 days, whatever. How likely are they going to respond to if they find themselves financially challenged and so on, which is very likely. And I think Ms. Scholastic Elcock, as the president of the National Association of Early Childhood Practitioners, she expressed those concerns, but the thing that I ask myself is, why now? Is it only now that it has come to the point of implementation that you realize, oh my goodness, what is this? What have we done, kind of thing? When that is a conversation we should have had in the build-up to it. People, there are just some areas that are low-wage areas. The babysitter, the domestic helper, and even people who work in preschools and daycares and so on. Unless they are government daycares, and government has the power of taxation at its disposal. Somebody who's operating a daycare or a preschool and so on, they do not have the power to go and raise money by taxation and by duties and by levies and those kind of things. What is the money that those people were getting before? And yes, we can say it is not right, it is not just, it's below minimum wage, but to bump them up to that level all of a sudden, are there going to be employers who find themselves challenged and they're not being able to meet it? How will they react? Will they let people go? Will they reduce people's hours of work? Will they reduce the number of staff they have? Will they shut down? What will be the effect of that? Sometimes those things are not necessarily a bad thing. They create that kind of separating of the men from the boys, and they really cause that kind of refinement and filtering, so that those who are not really viable are forced to drop out, and the truly vibrant and viable ones are all of the different things come into place. The mother who works, she's already working for a very low pay. She has somebody working to mind her children for her so she can go and work and so on, and now she has to pay them at that minimum and so on. What effect is it going to have? So let's hear. The audio quality when I listened was not the best. I wasn't too happy with it, but it's what I have. We have to work with it and so on. So let's go with the deck of cards that we have, and let's hear from Miss Scholastic Elcock.
Scholastic Elcock, the president of the National Association of Early Childhood Practitioners, NAECP, says whilst the association believes the minimum wage is good, it poses challenges for several early childhood development centers.
Some of our schools might have to close, yes. from what we heard from some of our members, some of them will not be able to continue because they do not have the number of children at their centers. Because some of them, their children have left to attend the government centers, that they've newly, had in operation. What do you call them? The pre-K classes. Some of them have left to attend pre-K classes in government schools.
Elcock says some schools anticipate having to close their doors, but others will fight to be able to afford paying staff the minimum wage. Earlier this year, an ECDC sent out a letter to parents informing them of an increase in fees in order to pay staff the minimum wage. Elcock says that other ECDs have already spoken to parents or are making plans to address parents about price increases. However, Elcock says finding the finances to pay staff the legislated $1,131 or $6.50 per hour is not their only problem.
The other thing that we find is that for new people coming in to the service that have no experience and they are not trained, they still have to be getting that same amount of money while they're in probation. And whereas staff that are in centers that you have to bring up to the minimum standard, they're going to be on the same salary as new people coming in with no experience. So we have some challenges to deal with.
Elcock says that the NAECP will be collecting data from its ECDs and is planning to meet with its advisory committee in 2 weeks to discuss the challenges further. Elcock adds that the association has not had any discussion with the Labour Department yet, despite efforts to do so. She says it is difficult as they have to be with the children from 7 o'clock to 5 o'clock, making it tough to schedule a meeting time. For the DBS News World.
Alright folks, so this report presented by the very familiar voice of Miriam Montot, who is an ex-NBC reporter, television reporter, presenter. And you heard what the lady, the president of the National Association of Early Childhood Education Practitioners, Scholastic Elcock. What are your thoughts on it? Just basically share with us what you think about that. Is the minimum wage going to prove to have more hiccups and challenges and bumps in the road and hurdles and so on for us to cross, or is it an out-and-out good thing and it's a normal process that whenever you have those things, you're going to have some who cannot meet the challenges and the requirements and so on, and they will drop off? Is it something we can just shrug our shoulders at? Or is there going to be serious concerns for employment, for business, for economic activity in the country, etc., those sorts of things? I personally would not like to see something which is supposed to be good for the people of St. Lucia end up causing business shutdowns, whether it's preschool, whatever it is. Economic activity, unless it is afoul of the law and unless it is causing some destructive impact on our environment, on the different things and so on. We've seen too many of them happen over the years. The global economic crisis, the effect that it had on us in the Caribbean and so down, the slowdown, the 911 things, the effect it had on our tourism and so on. And more you pass and you just come and you realize, hey, that place used to be there, that little roadside, food shack and so on is gone and so on. Believe you me, these things, they have a little knock-on filtration effect that is good in terms of, keeping micro enterprises and families that, I think you know what I'm saying. And over the years, we just seen too many of them just going. If it's not because of COVID that they just could not survive, it was because of, different economic forces and factors and so on that have just affected us and whatever it is, things having to do with a disaster from which they never could come back and so on. And I would not like to see something like the minimum wage, which is a good thing, which is going to be welcomed by many people, that it ends up causing a daycare, a preschool, whatever, which means so much to many people, such as single mothers who need a place for their children to be cared for and so on, etc., for those places to be losing maybe good people who have been there, who the children know and like, who are good at what they do because they've been at it, because whoever runs or owns it simply cannot meet the wage bill now and so on. The telephone lines are open for your calls. The numbers to dial if you're WhatsApp calling us, 487-9 number for WhatsApp calling, and 4533-911, the local landline number. We have our first call already. Hi caller, good day. Real Issues. Hello. Hello. We have all the volumes and everything up. Hi caller, are you there? Are you seeing the caller is there, or is just?
I'm hearing you.
It's a WhatsApp call. Okay, all right. Hi caller, are you there? Okay, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, Shelton. I am a little disturbed about the situation.
Which situation?
The president of the
Miss Elcock.
Miss Elcock. I feel that we had enough time.
Yeah, that's what came to my mind. I said, why now?
By now, where you should have called all the principals and put a matrix together. All you have to put a matrix together as how people work, and you pay them by the hour. And when you talk about new people coming in, I think that is where an arrangement must be made that you're on probation for a period of time, and that is where government will have to come in and give the period of time, or they themselves, the teachers, give a period of time for probation. You fail the probation, you go out. You stay in, you get the real pay. I think there is a way to do that when all of those people should come together, plan this thing, put a matrix together, get that. I'm dissatisfied with anybody coming on now at this late hour to play, because they had enough time and they should have complained. This is my take.
Yeah, especially since the preschool daycare business is one that often involves long hours, whether you like it or not. Parents drop off their children in the morning, and they probably are unable, because of the circumstances of their work, to come back for them until the evening time. And it's not like the teachers can, or the people who mind them can leave them, or decide they just leaving them there and going. You have to stay there until whatever the arrangement is for pickup and so on. Yeah.
That's true, and you can also because the parents will keep the teachers behind. You can have a conversation with the parents that you would have to. There is going to be a cost to it. If there is a cost, there is a cost.
Yes.
And I want to encourage employees. Employees, please give a fair day's work for a fair day's pay.
Right. True.
If you're not up to the standard, go get educated, go get trained, even on your own, that you can stand your ground.
Yes.
I am past the age of employment. I employ people off and on, and I'm prepared to pay what it takes, because I believe that our workers need what it takes, and I think what is there is satisfactory, and we should be able to make that up. Have a blessed day, my brother.
Yes, thank you very much. I couldn't have wanted a better opening call, for today's program. We have another call on the line. Hi, good day. Real Issues.
Hi, and how are you?
Hey, how you doing? You okay?
Good.
Yes.
Yes. My concern is, all the while that was said, they gave the date, they said everything. Nobody complained. Only now when it is on, what about all the while that they were underpaying people? Their business was going smooth, whereas others were only able to eat the crumbs of their hands.
How do you know that?
Well, am I not a solution?
How do you know their business was going smooth, that they were not struggling, that they didn't have their challenges?
Well, let me say something to you. When you rub it in my face, am I blind?
When you what?
What? When you rub it in my face, am I blind?
Rub what?
Whatever you rub in my face, I can see. You are making progress. I am working for you. I can't even I can only eat the crumbs. Fight with ants.
Yeah,
I walk like an elephant.
What I'm saying, Maria, sometimes the the childhood, the daycare, the whatever business that the people are involved in, it never was something that was bringing in big windfall profits for them. A lot of them may be stuck in there because they have a kind of a social spirit, community spirit. They understand the people who are coming there, the needs. Many of them are parents themselves. They are probably teachers, ex-teachers, and so on. So they have developed that kind of caring concern, and they managed to get by because the wages were below what is now the legislated minimum. That what they're saying is that now we got by because we had this little understanding. Parents, they know they don't have money. They're working at some hotel. They need whatever and so on. And the people who came to work, they were prepared to work for $600 a month or $200 a week or whatever it is. It didn't reach minimum. But when you put the minimum, which is now a legal requirement, for us to do that, we either have to raise the fees, we either have to shorten the times, we either have to, different things and so on are challenging. Don't you think that is a legitimate point? I agree that they have left it too late. There was enough time to bring that up, Yeah.
But let me say something to you. There are lots of things that can be changed.
Okay.
Let us say you increase the fee. There are parents, when they go to work and an extra 2 hours are given, that is money added to their pay. What they can do at the daycare, you have a particular person who is willing to stay at the daycare for the extra 2 hours. So if you were supposed to have closed at 5, you close at 7. And these parents that have accepted an extra 2 hours, or they're in a traffic jam and can't make it like we do in Canada. I have grandchildren that are in daycare. I have one grandchild at a daycare. And every hour that the child stays in there and the mother is late, whether it's from work, whether it's stuck in a traffic jam, it is an additional $40 an hour. Nobody leaves the child in the daycare. Nobody takes the child at their home. There is somebody that will stay in the daycare with the extra child or 2 or 3 children. And it's okay. You don't have to crack your head. We are there waiting while the hours go up. You will pay for the hours. That is what you need to do. And don't come and cry to me about because it is increased now. When you were eating your bread, slicing it on both edge, it was okay for you. Now, somebody else will work less than an elephant and eat more than an ant. You want to complain? Man, we like to cry too much into
what I believe should happen, and I'm sure it is going to happen. Given that our Minister of Labor is a former teacher, she's in education and all of that. Hold on. The National Association of Early Childhood Education Practitioners, they should have had a discussion, as a sector, as an association with the Minimum Wage Commission. You understand? They should have had an interaction before now. However, it is what it is. They are now feeling a little bit of pressure and apprehension and so on. I don't think it's too late. They need to have that interaction with the Minimum Wage Commission, with the Labor Commissioner to come and say, look, this is the challenge that we face. How can we work through this? I think that's a necessary.
Yes, they can fix it.
Yeah, and I believe that conversation needs to be had, and I'm sure it's going to be had. Yeah.
Yes, they can fix it. I know they can fix it. But what I am saying, pas venir pleurer parce que actuellement collier a venu plisser ouais dit d'un coup. L'autre qu'on peint tous les deux façades.
Okay.
Tu as mangé comme l'éléphant.
Okay,
Maria. Tu as mangé comme l'éléphant. Travailler, tu as mangé comme fourmi.
Okay. Maria, est-ce que vous hodie a dans mood qui rough? I fais ça fort because Maria, ou fait moi perdre élection moi. Ou fait moi perdre élection.
Non.
Et quand des mots là va parler là, OK?
Non, nous savons ça. Mais alors c'est ici nous mess nous aimons pleurer toi. Est-ce que manger voix?
OK.
Vous êtes habitué à manger au pain. Yo pas ça même chebe de la mais yo ça qui a bougen tellement beau. Travailler qui ka travailler puis yo il ka gourmet et puis fourmi. pour manger l'amina qui ka tombe ya.
Okay. Maria, est-ce que tu as une vie experience et puis genre early childhood? Because ou pas ça on a quoi dire c'est mon ou toi impressé puis ou ça? Hein?
Moi ni tous les deux maman moi qui aller en daycare en preschool.
Et you know you say un teacher, right?
Tous les deux maman moi aller là.
Like tous les non moi parler on yon maman yo qui c'est un teacher, right?
Oui.
Okay.
Et tous les deux maman moi aller dans même daycare. Yo mandé toute maman pour tuer des yo et puis chaise yo. Bon pour tuer bay maman moi. Les autres là en tout ils servent. Moi tant maman un ici qui plus pauvre qui moi. Qui plus riche qui moi, qui meilleur qui moi. Là riche yo qui te daycare ou ça yo dit man des là avec cap et puis chaise là.
Okay.
Moi les riches moi fini. Moi je bon moi doit bailler.
Ou quitter iba yo. OK.
Moi quitter dans l'autre monde qui laisse continuer.
OK, d'accord. On est un bon chien.
Oui, moi veux dire manger bagaille ça là.
Oui.
Et moi ça gouvernement kay manger parce que gouvernement moi qui travaille en faveur monde, pas en faveur.
OK.
En faveur quoi? En faveur monde.
But papa le autant rough. Papa le autant rough because so c'est Jean early childhood la ka coûter. So c'est Jean early childhood la ka coûter, ou ka faire moi perdre élection moi. OK, nous ka parler.
Non, pas perdre élection, nous ka manger ça. Mais moi dis mon non. Pas pleurer avant souler ou ka piger pied. Nous trop aimer faire ça.
D'accord.
All right, passons bonne journée tout le monde.
Aussi Maria.
All right.
All right, if we have no one else on the line, let's take the commercial break. And then when we come back, we'll field more calls. And I'll go to the Facebook Live. And okay, we have a caller on the line already. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton. It looks like these days I am really unlucky. I'm always on anyhow, morning leave.
Okay.
Who's that?
But Ular,
Pardon?
Ular, how do you?
Mular. Moi chaud, mais mular. C'est moi dire ça. Moi je blâmer le gouvernement. Parce que au passage du moins, gouvernement ka espéré octobre le 1er pour yon ek lage loi ça là minimum wage là en les monde. Yo pas bay c'est preschool là assez notice. Yo pas bay yo assez ça pour yo préparer pour ça. So yo just intern ça y et pour ça que ça ka fait moi petit la peine là Shelton. Si madame là dit il a try pour joindre avec Labor Minister ou bien Labor Commission ou bien n'importe association pour un meeting et qui peut connaître pièce fixée. Ou quoi ça vous Shelton? Have you made an effort in your capacity? And then she uses the excuse that they are with children and children are long hours and that kind of thing. Let me tell you, if you think it important to meet with the labor minister or whatever grouping to air your concerns, you have between August and September 30th to do so. So don't come complaining now. And I'm not saying that the complaints are not legitimate. But you had time and you made no extra effort based on your comments. So we want to say to those who feel that there are issues, the labor minister did say that you can come or meet with whatever the tribunal to air those concerns, and so much time was given. So let us not blame or lay blame, cast blame, and make it seem like the government did a bad thing. The government is looking after the people. But the other thing with the preschools, every hour that your child is left in daycare or preschool, you have to pay. The other very great thing that the government did for parents is to establish the pre-K classes. So it saves parents that money that they have to pay. So I want to say big up to the government for the implementation of this minimum wage or livable wage, as you will. And I also want to say to the NAECP, make every effort to meet with whoever you must to ensure that you understand each other and that you are able to implement what has to be implemented for the betterment of your staff and the society that we live in. I thank you so much for your break, my G. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. Thanks a lot. Do we go for the commercial break now, Jaquan? Okay, let's go for it. And when we come back, more calls and messages.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The Ministry of Health has launched yet another service under universal health coverage. This new service includes conducting pap smears using liquid-based cytology, which will assist in eliminating cervical cancer.
This new method of conducting pap smears is more comfortable and more convenient. So ladies, contact your nearest wellness center to get to know about our pap smear clinics.
Turnaround time for HPV testing is 1 week. Any abnormal or positive test, there will be a following week for the cytology testing. We also going to test for HPV strains 16 and 18, which are the most aggressive, which cause cervical cancer. We can also test for other STIs such as herpes simplex type 1 and type 2, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and others.
Patients with an abnormal HPV and an abnormal cytology shall be referred to the colposcopy clinic. At that clinic, we shall assure that you get the proper treatment and guidance.
So come in and access this new service. Your health is our priority.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man, the voice.
Yeah, thank you so very much, everyone, for staying with the real issues on this Wednesday. Let me just tell you that tomorrow I'll be having, it's been a while he hasn't been here with me, but Terry Fenelon has indicated that he will be co-hosting, that he's available to co-host with me tomorrow. And so I never turn down an offer like that. These days Miguel can't do it because of his new assignment with Nemo, and we know it's the hurricane season, so this is a time where they would need their communications officer practically at every turn to keep an eye on things. It hasn't escaped my notice or my recollection that for all the juju mania, in our country, well deserved, absolutely appropriate, and the plan to rename the Millennium Highway to the Julian Alfred Highway, one which I very enthusiastically support, that the Millennium Highway remains incomplete and we are in October. Wasn't it September was supposed to be? We keep hearing different times, July, then August, then September. Well, we're in October now. And the Millennium Highway still remains the forever road. It's still, but for Julian Alfred who came around to rescue the Millennium Highway, in terms of us remembering it, it would have become not just the forever road, it would have become the forgotten road. It still is incomplete as we speak. This is the Real Issues caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, good day, Shelton. What's up? Good day.
I'm doing okay.
All right, yeah, long time. Yes, Shelton, it's my exact sentiment. I said after Juju passed on the middle, everything happened for a reason. After she passed there, they'll get some Juju speed. Like you guys speed up highway, sir.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Imagine my cousin was there from Barbados 2 years ago, and when I went to drop her, she's like, you mean up to now this road has not finished? You know what I told her? I tell her, it's C.O. Williams, your company from Barbados are doing it. So that's why they're taking so long.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, and it's unacceptable, and it makes the government look bad, because everybody will blame the government, give the government licks for that, but they hands are tied. Yeah, the guys have the contract and everything. And I want to big up the government. I want to compliment them on the minimum wage thing. I mean, it's a very good initiative from them, but with the early child centers, I mean, I can identify because my cousin used to run these things, and Shelton is not profitable. Like you were saying, a lot of the folks just do that because of love for kids. And the community.
You know, and basically to make a contribution to the community, to try to help people, you know.
A lot of them operate at a loss. I can tell you that. That's
I mean, I remember the days when I used to be on the parent teachers of a certain preschool. And my friend, a lot of the parents who drop off their children are people who are working at Bell Fashion in Dennery, at, you know, the Viewford garment factories. And, you know, they don't have anybody to mind their child because their own mothers are hustling on an estate and so on. They have to go and do this to make a little bread for themselves. How much money those people can pay? How much you can charge them and ask them to pay so that you could meet the wage bill? So a lot of the people who were there were people who were there because
struggling. I know that
because of the family and community commitment that they had, you know.
And they ask parents, you know, to contribute, and they have to do other stuff so that they can raise the revenue.
Yeah, I remember, you know, parents used to come together to do kudme, to do, you know, little things, you know, to help the preschool, to do fundraising and those kind of things, you know.
Because my neighbor used to run one, and she used to tell me that she just loves kids. She's doing that for love of the kids and community, like, you know, contributing towards the community, like giving back. But these folks is a lot of sacrifice, so I'm so happy that the government gave them this typing of the 2.5. It is.
Yes. In fact, this was mentioned. This was mentioned. Yeah.
Yes.
That the government did give them some support, you know.
Yes.
And so on.
I think it was long overdue because these folks were doing so much, and you know they were not recognized. They were not. So many at past administration, they never, you know, realized the contribution these folks did in that early childhood, because that's like the foundation for the kids.
Yes.
As
a matter of fact, one of the comments that were made about it is that earlier this year, government gave preschools about 2,500, you know, and the person said that they were curious to learn what the carers were making before minimum wage was implemented.
Yes.
And you know, they reference Ms. Elcock talking about some of those preschool people being inexperienced, and they are getting the same amount even when they are on probation. So that means, well, what were they making before? It really wasn't much to talk about. And the individual went on to say, we must remember also that minimum wage is a right, not a privilege. It is a right to fair wages for a fair day of work.
Exactly.
I feel like the Prime Minister knew this was coming. That's why he had the foresight to support preschools. But inevitably, there would be some repercussions. And I'm saying, then you know, the early childhood people, they need to contact minimum wage, Minister of Labor Commissioner, and say, look, we need, although I feel this could and should have been done earlier, you know.
And I think the timing is bad. They had enough time. And I think they're saying they could not have met. Come on, not one person from the ministry or could have met. I don't buy that.
Somebody made a comment about that, you know. I'm trying to see if I can get
yes.
But anyway, thank you very much.
All right,
thank you very much. Yeah, good. Okay. 487-9849, that's the number on which you can WhatsApp call us, and 4533-911. We have another call on the line. Good afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
Yes, I would like to make a contribution with regard to the you know, the issue of the preschools and so on. Yes, Shelton, I really wish to speak on behalf of the people who, oh my goodness, sorry, Shelton.
What's wrong?
Yes, I really wish to speak on behalf of the people who run the preschools. You know, these people are people who have run those preschools and daycares for eons. And like you rightly said, the whole cultural thing, the whole community thing, a lot of them did that. Shelton, I know quite a number of them who ran these, you know, and they had to do a little something else. Like some of them would probably, you know, cook at the preschool or do something so that they could raise funds. Because a lot of parents, especially those who work at the hotels, had to collect the children late. And, you know, because of their compassion, some of them did that, and they were not even able to pay. And because of the compassion and, you know, the whole spirit of community they had, you know, they wouldn't send the children away. So I think this is an area that as you rightly said, the Minister of Labor has been an educator. So maybe these are some areas that they need to look into, because it's really something. I know a particular one when my daughter was growing up. That lady, God bless her soul, she used to live in the 4-story CDC, what we call the old CDC buildings. And that lady sometimes would be seen on afternoons when parents didn't come for the children early enough. That lady would be seen on afternoons taking those children to her home, to the top, and she lived on the 4th floor, and then parents would come. It's something that really, really needs a lot of attention. Shelton, I think we should probably have that topic again, and something needs to be done to speak, because the money which was given to the preschools, that's to a one-time thing which they never got before, but I'm sure it did help a lot, and that this is an area that we really, really need to look at, Shelton. And I'm speaking here as an educator, somebody who has taught, all my life. Half of my life I taught and so on, so I know the issues. So I would be grateful if something could be done, because if the children get that foundation, from small, then our school, then when they go into primary school, the schools would be able to do well and perform. Especially we have an area now where mathematics is a serious problem. We need to look at all of these. And I'm glad that the Ministry of Education is on board in terms of trying to, do a few little regulations here and there.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Shelton.
Yeah, always welcome. And this is the thing, with those preschools and so on. It's in communities where everybody knows everybody. Everybody's related to everybody. You get the sense that a lot of the reward that the people who work there is not really the money that comes in their pocket, but the interaction. You see, the intensity with which they converse with parents and so on, and when they have a fundraising, and who volunteers to be by the grill doing the roast, and who is doing the floats and so on. When they have a sports meet for one of those, preschools and so on, the joy of coming and watching children so tiny racing and doing all of that. There's just that kind of, sweet feeling of bonding and togetherness that is being lost on so many other fronts, that when you get it. So I'm saying a lot of it really is about social commitment and interaction and consciousness and responsibility. We have a caller on the line. Hi, caller. Real issues. You're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Shelton. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How about you? That voice sounds familiar.
Okay, maybe.
All
Let
right.
me tell you, for years and months, I've listened to the fellows call Richard a criminal. He's always involved in the murder of this, the murder of that. But none of them had never come up with a piece of paper where the police can arrest him and ask him questions. But right now, I was thinking, we have 4 criminals in St. Lucia. And I'm going to tell you then, Alan Chasney, Guy Joseph, Spider, and Farrell. Because that clock boy they were sending against Richard, they're sending him to commit political suicide. And they know that very well. So I'm asking somebody out there, if they know that clock boy, talk to him to get out of that as soon as possible. Because I will not want to hear anybody say Richard killed him. These people killed him by making him commit political suicide.
Wow, you believe it's that bad that he's been asked to go up, and that's a setup in itself?
Let me tell you, yes.
Let's hope.
Because they know.
Yeah, let's hope that
They
never
know
happens.
he will not win.
Huh?
They know he will not win.
No, but I'm saying, even if he doesn't win, in terms of any harm coming to him, let us hope that this never happens. Political suicide, yes, but for him to find himself...
that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about anybody will do him any harm.
Okay.
But his people are sending him to commit political suicide.
He's like a sacrificial lamb, you're saying?
That's right.
Okay, okay. All right, thank you.
And I don't think they should use him like that.
Okay.
All right then.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Wow. You know, the language was a bit strong, but I had to stay and try to follow. Let's hope that no candidate of either or any political party or independent suffers any kind of harm or injury, you know, in their political journey, whether on the active campaign trail, that not even a stone hit anybody, candidate, anybody on platform, anybody in crowd, that any kind of election or politically related violence, that we don't have that at all. We already have enough of the violence and the shooting, etc., that there are no indications that they're politically connected. We already have our fill and more, too much, you know, of it and so on, for us to find any kind of thing associated with the politics. We have a call on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues. Hello.
Shelton, it's me again.
Oh, you called back.
I'm not
Okay.
saying that I'm not saying that somebody will do anything.
No, I understood you. I understood you already. I'm just saying that I hope nothing like that arises, you know, political and election-related violence and so on, because we already have more than enough violence in other, you know, related to other things. Okay?
Yes, but he will commit political suicide.
Okay, all right, okay.
All right, okay.
Thank you very much. All right, we have so many messages, I don't think I want to even start tackling them. Maxine Isaac, good afternoon, says, I really don't know why some people want to fight down the minimum wage that will help most parents / non-parents in St. Lucia, but expect the government to give them everything for free. Ali Jean says the local shipper is contradicting what the U.S. reporter is saying. Well, the U.S. reporter is speaking with regards to the U.S. They probably don't even know about St. Lucia, so that they won't be able to give us a perspective on how the port workers strike in the U.S. is going to affect specifically St. Lucia. I don't know. We probably have, you know, I don't know, such a small volume of what's coming out of there that it won't have the kind of impact that it would probably have on, you understand what I'm saying, some bigger country. I don't know, but I would hope that the good news, you know, that they give, that it is what we experience. We've got so many challenges as small states with hardly any alternatives and so on, our resources, that if that thing happens, it would be one of the most unkindest cuts of all. All right, I'm trying to see if I can go through the messages, but my goodness, I never realized we had so many of them. Thank you so very much, everyone. We still have time for a couple of calls if you are so minded to make them. We have someone on the line. Hi, good afternoon, Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daniel.
How are you doing there?
I'm good, thanks. Good afternoon to the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Daniel, something captured my attention yesterday with that whole Rockall housing project. Yesterday, I happened to be taking a little listen to Newspin, where Sequin came and then he said that NSE needs to be investigated, and you know the venom he was going at saying that and thing. And then they brought up a report where Lisa Joseph was the reporter stating that the man was arrested in his country for fraud and whatever.
You arrested who?
The person who is in charge of who got the contract for the housing project in Rockall.
Okay.
Okay, so but what really captured my attention was that same Lisa Joseph brought Martinez and Rijok on her show. She never investigated their past, whereas now we're learning that Martinez committed crime in France and wherever else, and then he was sentenced to jail. He served some jail time. So what I'm saying, isn't that double standard? You will investigate the man who has the Rockall housing project. You would find that he was arrested and he has to go to court and blah or whatever. But you wouldn't bring Martinez files. So is that really journalism, or is this just being mischievous? That's my take.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. I don't even want to... This Martinez thing, it looks like It has either died or is on the verge of dying a natural death. Moribund is the word for it. It's on the point of dying. I heard a former minister, in answer to questions from a reporter, who asked him, what about the evidence he was supposed to have gotten from Martinez? But we have to wrap it up now. Jaquan says, thank you very much, everyone. Sorry for the abrupt end to it, but we have to sign off now.
October 2024, Double Daily Grand, 4/11/2022. Big 4, 4, 3, 4, 9. Big for multi-X, 3X. Pick 2, 7, 1. Pick 2 multi-X, 2X. One off, 3, 8, 3. Lucky 3, 9, 2, 9. Lucky 3 multi-X, 2X.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.